Ding dong, Dota fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Trent and Zyori podcast, number 172. But who's counting at this point? Because numbers don't matter. This ain't the crypto podcast, buddy. Welcome back. A lot of DPC shit going on. I don't know what we're talking about tonight, but it's been a while. The rare occurrence where we've got an event going on, so we get to chat almost daily.
It's true.
Yes, it's weird. It's weird. We've gone through these sprints of no events. Hey, I haven't talked to you in 6 months. What's going on? And then here we are. So how are you? How you feeling?
I'm
Welcome
great. Yeah,
back.
podcast is usually catch-up time, but we don't really need catch-up time because we're on 5 days a week with each other.
Well, I'm
and
sure.
The other two, I'm doing NA, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure we can scrape up some drama. Maybe we can just dive right into some NA, though, because I want to ask about Arkosh. That's all I care about. How are they doing, and is it working? Does anyone care? Are the memes paying off? Have they been revealed yet?
I think statistically they have quite an increase in viewership compared to the other ones.
Really?
Slacks was tweeting out some of the viewership stuff, but yeah, I mean, if you look, like they legit get like thousands more viewers in the very similar matchups and stuff than the average NA, especially for like lower division. It's crazy.
Holy shit! So it's
working.
The experiment is working. Now, what about the players' identities? I saw that Purge did an interview the other day. I didn't know that he was on that team. That was pretty cool.
Pale Horse did an interview.
Is it always do they rotate
Allegedly,
voices?
he sounded very similar to Purge. That was the first time Pale Horse had given an interview.
I see. Oh, I see.
Yes.
Was that the first interview period?
Shockingly similar voice, though.
Are they all doing interviews, or is that just the first Arkosh one period aside from
No,
manager?
Gremlo also gave an interview last week.
Who did he sound like?
Gremlo. I mean, he just said Gremlo over and over again and screeched a lot. So.
Oh, he didn't say anything besides just his like Pokemon status, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. A couple words here and there, but not a whole lot.
So as you can see, I'm not up on it. I've been tunneled on South America.
You've been too busy
and
with South America.
Various other shenanigans. Yeah, I am so tunnel visioned on our region. I absolutely have no idea what's going on in the other. I haven't even been opening Reddit, man. See, that's the thing. When we're doing Europe and there's like, 40, 50K viewers, you're a little more plugged into like the pipeline of what everyone's spamming and memeing about, because that's sort of what drives that whole cycle. And I don't really mind that we're on a lower viewership broadcast, but I feel like it helps me be more disconnected from the drama. Like, I'm not reading Reddit drama. I'm Googling fucking South American translations to figure out what they're saying about me. And I'm like, who is Allison Kazo? Is this a meme? Is this a real person? Like,
who is this?
So I'm just in my own little bubble trying to discover all these South American influencers and talent. And like, if you ever see the Zyori and Jonah, Jona, in the same sentence, apparently Jonah is a female Facebook streamer that plays Dota, but like on really low quality. It's like a 420p stream or something, but she has a really deep voice, and everybody makes fun of her really deep voice and her very, quote, manly laugh. So that's like people comparing me to this streamer and saying that I'm like, I don't know. I think it's like they're saying we both look like we're transgender is the joke, but I'm not really sure because the translations don't really. You type that into Google Translate and it doesn't really give you anything useful. Anyway, that's the kind of shit that I've been trying to read and decipher in our little bubble here in South America.
I see.
So I need you to educate me with everything else that's going on in the Dota world.
Well, here's the thing about our league structure is that it entices people to tune into certain regions at certain times, I would say, because there's always going to be hype matchups. For example, I was looking at the schedule the other week and I saw, Secret Enigma are going to be playing next week. That's pretty crazy. That's very hype. So I made note that it was going to be happening. So I made time to go to Dream League. I mean, to be fair, I watch Dream League most days anyway because it's usually on before us. And so I like to watch the production's obviously very good because everyone's there in Sweden. The series was a total blowout. It was a stomp. It sucked. It was not enjoyable. It was like literally looked like one of our games.
Yeah.
From like lower division SA. I felt so bad for Owen and Fog because, I mean, when's the next time you get to see Secret Enigma play, guys?
Major.
Do you want to know when? It's like
2 months from now. The major in the playoffs.
Major / any tournaments that take place after the league. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I've noticed in South America, the viewership very much fluctuates with do we own the schedule or are we overlapping with something good? And
oh yeah, Europe's brutal, man. They're killing us.
yeah, well, and the other issue is that Europe moves a lot slower. Like we're fucking wham
I
bam,
know. They're
thank you,
bleeding,
ma'am.
dude.
Yeah, we're game in, game out. Like it within a series, it's no more than 10 minutes in between. And then in between series, it's it's this fixed schedule. So if it's a blowout, maybe it's an hour and a half, but we're starting right on time. I think teams have to be in the lobby with all 10 minutes before it starts. So they get it's not on the hour when the game's supposed to start. It's 10 minutes before when penalty time starts ticking. So I don't know. Our admins keep saying like they're very strict about the 10 minutes in between games, and I don't understand how Europe is inserting so much extra time in between because it's got to be lobby delay too. That's not just broadcast delay, right? Am I nuts? How are they doing?
No, you're right. It's pretty crazy. By the time a lot of the games ends, it can be pretty brutal. So like I'm gonna look for an example between like game 1 and game 2 here. Or yeah, it was like 18 minutes between game 1 and game 2 of Secret versus Nigma.
Yeah, that's a pretty long time.
That's like crazy compared to us.
It's twice as long. So like it adds up a lot. When they have 3-game series, some of these days they're going late. We start on time, and then we're also overlapping with North America. It's like, oh man, I can't really blame people for not watching these SA games. And sometimes that happens. I don't remember which day it is, but I think there's a day where that happens with uppers. But then we have, which is our high viewership day? Is that tomorrow? I think it might be Fridays where we
tomorrow
own the
is a pretty good day, yeah, because we have no overlapping.
Yeah,
I think CIS might be on before us tomorrow. And
maybe
that's
it. It's a CIS lead-in instead of a European lead-in. But yeah, I think Fridays are pretty big. I also don't mind getting up and watching that lower division series. They broadcast it in Steam, like in the Dota client, but it's interesting to casual cast and just kind of spectate through Dota TV. We got Infinity and Inverse tomorrow, probably be a stomp. But hey, what are you gonna do? Such is the lower division life.
Who is it? Infinity versus Inverse, right? Yeah. I was looking at earlier. I couldn't remember. It probably will be a stomp. It's true.
It should be. If it's not, that would surprise me. But my other, just to circle back on Arkosh. Okay, so they're 2-2, so they might survive. That's cool. They might get paid. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's likely they survive based on the other teams and how they've been doing. They also had, like, they were close versus 2-base and stuff too. Oh man, dude, who were they playing the other night? Jeez, that was bad. Oh, the Byzantine Raiders. Oh my god, dude, they almost managed to throw that series. I wish you saw the game 1. It was so 10 out of 10. I was messaging Slacks because it was like the worst Roche throw I think I've ever seen. It was amazing. It was like just bad buybacks, but like the game was like in the bag. They were like 8 or 9K up and going for the Roche, but they got too greedy going for it and they all bought back. Oh, big recommend, guys, if you want to watch some pretty funny moments in that first series.
Yeah, we can only hope that Arkosh can make it to the uppers.
I mean, the chat is so funny when they play too, because everyone's constantly spamming. I get spammed asking if I'm on Arkosh on the daily. Someone messages me and asks.
Really?
Oh yeah, if I'm ever in Twitch chat for Europe or whatever, someone will message me. I'll get a whisper.
Wow,
like, yo, are you on Arkosh? Tell me the
compliment.
Truth. I'm like, yeah, okay. And someone asked me today. I said I micro the couriers. That's my role.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that sounds about response. Right. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah,
they have no idea. I mean, a lot of people still think it's cap when cap's in Europe.
I'm surprised that people haven't been able to figure out at least a couple of them. I thought something would have leaked or there'd be
some of them are pretty obvious. You know, Jenkins keeps having his dentist appointments whenever they play, as he always says.
Well, I just figured
hop off the panel.
I figured he was having some issues with his crowns. I mean, I thought it was common knowledge that Jenkins was getting dentures put in. So
yeah,
I mean, I didn't mean to dox him there. I guess that's on me. Sorry, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's just that there's no solid confirmation, so it's just fun. People, I mean, of course, everyone can probably find the roster and do their own thing, but, you know, it's kind of fun to meme about. Plus, there's no actual solid confirmation, so there's always someone who's going to argue because that's the internet. It's great.
Well, that is the modern day tactic is the misinformation campaign, right? If there's one thing we've learned from the Trumpian political era is that misinformation works. You know, if you can just confuse people to the point that they don't trust anything, you know, you instill enough misinformation that people go, the news in general is fucked. I can't trust any of it. And it's like, all right, well, now your healthy skepticism went to this unproductive, I don't have any data points. Like, you have to, at some point, take a leap of faith onto something. Speaking of leap of faith, buddy, can we bitch for a moment? I try not to use that word so much, but Jesus, the bottom 2 teams in the lower division get nothing. I learned that today, and I'm still reeling over this. It's unbelievable. Did you know this the whole time? Did we read this on the podcast, and I was just too stoned and forgot? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
This is crazy.
It was one of those things that got brought up like right when it got announced, and we kind of glossed over it, like, "Oh, that kind of sucks." But I mean, hey, here's our system, so. You know, that's something to be fixed for next time. I think we even made a point of that.
Now that we're living it, and we're halfway through week 3, so we're getting close to that 50% point. I wouldn't call it a grind. I'm having a lot of fun, but this is serious stuff. I can't believe that 2 teams are going to play in this entire group stage, and not only are you getting punished by having
gotta call it a league.
What did I call it?
You said a group stage.
God damn,
not
a
group
league.
stage.
I know. I keep doing it.
It's a league.
This league, so you can play in the qualifiers again. So there's a chance if you drop out, you can get back into lowers, right?
Yes.
So you're not 100% out, but still, that alone is the punishment. That's the relegation of getting kicked out of the league. There's no need to punch him in the gut while you're down and having to play qualifiers and get 0. I mean, can you imagine being on a team that gets bottom 2 in the lowers twice in a row? Could you imagine being like the Mad Kings, for example, if they bomb out and then qualify again because there's no competition and then bomb out? You just wasted how many months of your life to earn actual goose egg dollars?
Yeah.
That is so insane. And some of that is just like, well, sucks to suck. You tried. You kind of knew what you were signing up for, blah, blah, blah. It's, and there's some truth to that. But at the same time, we want to encourage people to play, not make it really shitty for the people that are already struggling a little bit to commit to seeing if they really can compete with the best. Hell, man,
Yeah.
Is that a change we could make for season 2 of this league?
I would say 100%.
Okay.
They should get some payment.
Yeah.
No. I mean, even something as simple as what's the placing above them? Like 7,000? It's not much.
7,000 for 6th place. So you could just do 6,000, 5,000,
like
or 6,000
per week,
whatever.
And there's 5 players. It's still not much, but at least it's something.
Yeah,
something to show mom and dad and be like, look, I played video games and made some money. Please let me play the next qualifiers and not take away my computer.
I mean, I'll be real. I can't remember when we did our last podcast. If it was before or after. I think it was before we had sent out all of those questionnaires where I was like hyped about the idea of it. So to follow up on that thread, some teams responded. Basically, one of the upper division teams, the Brazilians, because they're friends with Bowie, and 5 of the lower division teams because half of them realized, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity to get some stuff out there. Like Team Infinity, they were all about it. They were like, yo, I want to be on your podcast. We'll be on multiple episodes. The only thing is you got to plug our social media. Deal? Like, you got a deal, buddy. If you come on the podcast, I promise we will plug the hell out of your social media. So I'm glad that we did it. We definitely learned some things. A little disappointed we didn't get more of a response from some teams, even some of the upper division teams. I really don't know that much about. No Ping, they're kind of a mysterious crew. We know they're MMR grinders, but outside of that, I don't have much story. But a staggering amount of players answering the question, what would you do with the prize pool if you won a major? 3 big answers. Help my family, buy a computer, start an esports organization that helps players in South America. Far and large, it was either all 3 of those or 1 or 2 of those 3. And that was basically it. Pretty much all of them were like, yeah, I would just give most of it to my family because they need it. And so many of these players, I don't really have a computer. What?
That's insane.
What?
Having to go to LAN cafes to play your matches and shit?
Or going to friends' houses or it's just borrowing equipment. First thing I would do is buy a legit gaming PC. Get an i9, drop $2,000 on a
get
legit
some
rig.
frames.
Yeah, be able to play on high ultra settings instead of low medium. Experience. We're talking about 144 hertz is the standard. Dog, I don't think most of them are getting 60 FPS down there. Forget about hertz. We're talking frames still. We're in different units of measure here.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's we knew that, but there was something about seeing the answer so prevalently that made it really hit in a different way. Like, God damn, dude, this isn't even a meme. Like, this is you. I still think there's opportunities down there. Like, I kind of want to do an interview with somebody from Beast Coast and see how things are going in terms of being like a North American based org and operating with a South American based team. And obviously,
I mean, you know, Granson.
yeah,
You
right.
do the interview.
Well, obviously they're a bit of an outlier because their team is very they're like on that true tier 1 relative to the others in the region right now. So
makes the investment more worth it. In
yeah,
a lot of ways, for sure.
It's not like being the best in any region is always going to be a pretty good value proposition, but it's just insane to think that you could legit start, quote, a South American team and without any real backing or money, just providing these players with a location that has internet, some air conditioning, and some computers is already like, yo, that's a sponsorship. That's a hookup. We'll wear your jersey if you give us all that. Not saying I want to like abuse not paying salaries. I'm just saying it's on a basic level. There are problems to be solved beyond talking about how much
some building blocks
are we getting paid in salaries. Yeah. We're so far away from salaries for a lot of there's 16 teams that we're talking about like they're professionals. I think probably half of those they're not playing under conditions that you would consider professional by any stretch based on the kind of shit we see from
basically
Lakewood
setups
and TSN.
worse than us.
Yeah,
as commentators.
100%,
exactly.
dude.
That's probably like 14 of the teams.
I spent $600 on this processor alone, man. Yeah, we're way above the average of what these players got. So I don't know, just the context around all that. I'm rambling a little bit, but it's I feel like for me personally, it's added a lot of extra emotion to these kind of storylines where I feel like I'm really rooting for these lower division teams so much more than I thought I would be. I thought coming into the coverage, I wouldn't really care that much about the bottom teams, but I kind of feel for them a little bit. I'm feeling kind of like, damn, you guys that $5,000 would go along. That's a lot of computers you guys could buy with that.
It's because they were easier to ignore before. You didn't actually have any faces.
I didn't have
any
to
one
think
of these
about
lower
it.
divisions at all. Like they'd show up in an open qualifier, you'd see them for a best of one, and then they'd just be gone. But now you're watching them, and you're seeing them put up all this time visibly on broadcast, as opposed to just like grinding in shitty scrims and stuff, which is obviously very good, and helps raise awareness about them and stuff. But it just kind of points out like how dire the situation can be.
Yeah, but also I think the
lower
quality
division,
been
first
good.
off, has been a lot better than expected. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, really,
it's been very enjoyable
for NA and SA. I mean, let's flash back to whenever DPC was announced. What, maybe a year ago, 10 months ago. We could probably find a pretty funny side by side of us being like, "Oh my god, who is the 14th team in North America? They're gonna be so dog shit. Like the pauses are. This is gonna be so like." And it hasn't been that bad. I mean. These teams have looked pretty okay, and there's a surprising amount of players in the lower division for NA and SA that you recognize.
Yeah. I wonder, actually, who won the NA game tonight? There was a good NA matchup. It was Sad Boys 2-0 5-man Midas. Peter's back at it again. I did, I don't know if you're aware. I'm also doing North American casts, but I've done one series with PPD and one series with Gunner, me and Lyrical both. So it's been pretty fun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's casting with PPD was really, really good. Highly recommend it, actually, if you guys want to learn a lot while listening to a game. I love picking Peter's brain.
Who is this team? A team.
It was Undying versus Black and Yellow, I think, by the way. Who's what? Who's A team?
A team. I'm looking at their flags, and it's pretty wild. They've got a Uruguay player, a Philippines player, German, one from United States, and one from Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to say this guy's name. I think it's Zabo.
Zabo? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a silent S, yeah. Rises Prince, The Bloody Sky, Zabo 666, and Old Yoda.
Old Yoda? Yeah.
It's a pretty good name. Oh, his last name's Win, of course.
Yeah, they I don't know if they're fun to watch. Still winless. But they're not like horrendous. They're definitely one of the weaker teams because you don't really like recognize them.
Yeah.
Just like newer players. They're one of those teams that you thought maybe like Arkosh or like, well, especially like Lukey's team, I thought for sure was going to be an upper division team.
Same. Bloody Nine. Yep.
Yeah. Like, I was very surprised by that. I think they were probably disappointed too. And that part of the league is really rough, man. Being on that cut between Division 1, Division 2. It's pretty brutal that like a single week of stuff can filter you down there instead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they finish at the top, in the lower division, then maybe they can just get like bumped up. But right now they're in a rough spot because it's actually the cut and 2 based that are kind of crushing it. I mean, Z freaking monkeys, yo.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm almost surprised that that team ended up in lowers, but the cut has been really the amazing story out of that lower division in North America, right? And Lil Nick has some fans. I know those of us at Moonduck been kind of cheering him on a little bit. They've got a badass namesake in their position 1, Scourge McDuck, right?
Dude, that guy's so good.
And Tingle King on the 3. 3 Canadians as well. A lot of things going for this team, and currently undefeated 3-0 in second place. So I haven't been watching North America, but I've been checking in the results and kind of passively cheering for the cut. Also a big fan of their logo. That shit is 10 out of 10. That is peak Dota right there.
Man, I wonder whatever happened to Gelotl.
Oh, yeah.
Did they play in the qualifiers for this?
I mean, who's on that team?
It's like, like Ifrit, Esk. It looks like, oh, that's right. They got split up and they played on that Nequa stack that got disqualified. Oh, that's why. I mean, I just remember like back when we used to watch more of the NA and stuff, they were like a constant in like all the tournaments, right? It would be like the 5-man Mexican stack. And they were like the only Mexican team that we would usually have. And it's just kind of cool because Mexico is North America.
It is.
Especially to our European friends. A lot of them probably don't even realize that. But, NAFTA
I think a lot
is
of
actually Canada, the USA, and Mexico. They are a part of North America. I swear this is like failed by every single person geographically.
So I looked this up the other day, Trent. I can verify. All right. South America starts like with the super south part. All that stuff in between, that's ours. That's North America, baby. Right. We got Ecuador. We got Honduras. That's North America. I think. Is it Colombia? Is that the first South American country?
I don't know who the first is, but Colombia, yeah.
Like in terms of geographically, like north to south, I think Panama connects into Colombia. Panama's where it stops.
But yeah, just, I don't know. I was kind of hoping they'd be repped, and they didn't make it.
Ecuador is SAR. Maybe I'm wrong. I think officially, though, Central America is in north. Are we fighting?
I'm pretty sure Mexico's the end, dude.
Is it? All right, well, let's look it up. Let's fact check it. North America country list. I guess that's what you Google, right? The official list of North American countries. Yeah, look at it. There's 24 of them. Guatemala. No. Maybe.
I mean, it'd be by the tectonic plates, so perhaps it is.
I think it is. I think I'm right. I think Ecuador is... I might have been wrong about Ecuador. That one might be... I think I confused Ecuador with El Salvador, and I'm embarrassed to make that mistake because I know better. I should know better. I think that's... So, yes. I was mostly right, but Ecuador was a bad example to choose. Also, Greenland is in North America, so...
I was mostly right.
Mostly right, but not 100%.
Is Nicaragua considered North America?
It is, buddy. It's on the list.
I thought so, because they're invited to a lot of NA tournaments and stuff.
It's the 4th largest by area, so how about that?
Makes sense.
Belize also down there. I think one of the cool things about Belize is they have English as their primary language, despite having a heavy Spanish. Like most of the population speaks Spanish, so it's a popular place for expats. Very English friendly. So there you go.
Makes sense to be everything above Panama. The whole canal and whatnot.
Yes,
it's a very convenient cutoff.
Exactly. Just draw that line through the map. So has there been any drama in this DPC? I guess maybe we could mention the Dendy thing. Did you get to comment on that, buddy?
What part of it?
Well, just did you read Astini's
Yes. I didn't see that really go that viral. Was it even discussed in the subreddit? I don't think anyone even noticed.
So, yeah, this thing is so weird. I think I kind of heard through the grapevine that's part of what Astini has done is he's a person that has had some dramas in the past and also now, but he's always focused it towards the Portuguese community, and he writes it all in Portuguese, and I guess nobody really bothers to translate it. Like, who's the Brazilian guy that's like, I'm going to get that free karma on Reddit and translate this? Nobody gives a shit. So it just never gets translated, never moves on. So we don't even really know who he is, but he's a pretty prominent figure, I think, within the Brazilian Portuguese audience in South America. So
yeah, he started 5-man Midas. Sorry,
yes.
I always say 5-man Midas. Midas Club.
Midas
I
Club.
always get that
Midas
wrong.
Club.
Sorry.
The other Midas. So who is it? It's Duster. Who is it that's collaborating with Bait right now?
Sexy Fat and RDO.
Sexy Fat and RDO. Okay, so it's the three of them, and then they had Astini as a coach, and they went over to Ukraine to basically join Bait and play with Dendi and who was it? Last Hero.
It was Last Hero. That's right. Yep.
And then I guess 5 Up left also. So I don't. Who is their fifth right now? They only
The
have
fifth right now is TSA. He's a Russian player.
Okay, unfamiliar with him. But kind of a cool collaboration to see CIS and South America come together. And obviously, Bait has had a bit of a rocky start for a variety of reasons. And I think this is a cool innovation to try to bridge some gaps. And then I guess the TLDR on the post is that Astini really called out Duster specifically and said that he got a girlfriend in Ukraine and was giving like 50% effort.
Like super specific.
Yeah.
He basically tried to blame all their failures on Duster.
Like at the end of the post, he compliments the other 4 players and then basically just says, "Yeah, Duster, you suck." I'm paraphrasing.
That's pretty much. That's a pretty good summary.
I mean, he was like very complimentary of Dendi.
Suck someday is basically the ending.
Like very complimentary of Sexy Fat and RDO. So very strange for a coach to quit halfway through the season of this league. That, first of all, is strange because there's a big gap in between seasons. So conventional logic, you'd wait until it's done, close the book. If it's bad, you say, "Sorry, guys, I don't want to re-up. I'm going back to Brazil or whatever." And then also strange to like write this really emotional blog about it and name one of your players as sucking. As a coach, that just seems like I don't understand the optics play around that.
How to never get hired again.
Yeah, seriously. That's just... And again, to me, this is one of those, even if all of that is completely true, you really do give 200%, Duster really is giving 50%, and you're 100% accurate, you still can't do this. This is still not the play, man. You still can't just like single out your one player. Like, you got to handle this internally. You got to, if he's bad and you need to kick him or remove him, fine, maybe make that replacement. But to just say, "This guy sucks, I'm out of here," is... I mean,
yeah.
Now, to be fair, he did mention burnout was a big part, and that he said he'd been giving 200% for a really long time, and it's like this was just the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess, and it was too much, and it was just time to pull the plug and quit. And that part I can empathize with. I kind of hit that wall.
I don't think
BTS,
you need to explode that to the general public. That's not helping anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't really get the logic on that one.
Yeah, I definitely had that reflection. I thought about what was my parting ways with BTS blog like. It was pretty PR. It was super nice. There was no there was baggage, but it wasn't public. I didn't I wrote a book about it years later, but
he should have just wrote a book.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so the part that cracked me up the most is when he said, "I waited 24 hours after I got mad to make sure this wasn't just a rage post." And I thought, okay, well maybe we should have waited a week or something here. That's because this reads a little bit like a rage post. So I don't know. It's very peculiar. And I guess it says on Liquipedia that he's taking a break from competitive Dota. I guess that's confirmed. To my knowledge, Bait has not hired a new coach yet. And when last asked, I think 3 days ago, so 2 or 3 days after the post, Dendi said that they were still trying to work with Astini. So that is now 2 or 3 days removed. That might have changed, but since January 29th, the team was still entertaining the idea of somehow working with him, maybe remotely or something like that. So
interesting.
I had no idea where that's going, but
well, yeah. So anyway, that's a bit of chaos there.
Is that the big drama? That's a pretty minor drama if that's the big drama,
Yeah, they're what, 1-2, so they are sitting in the best spot. Windstrike are crushing lower division SA. Same with Hellraisers, to be expected.
Yeah,
both clearly the stronger and more well-known teams. I think Gambit also. I thought they'd do a little bit better, but I mean they lost their series versus Windstrike, so that's a pretty rough start. So. I don't know. CIS is definitely the region I've watched the least. I'm not that invested in it just because of some of the people that are missing. I think it's kind of weird right now that there's so many of their like huge stars not even playing in the league.
And Ramses and all these others. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely very interested in watching Virtus Pro whenever I can. But every time I tune into their games, it's like basically already over. They're just like crushing.
Real.
It's
Oh yeah.
really cool because they're like a young squad that are still absolutely dominating.
And Navi are also undefeated. The
Yeah.
V2 and Iceberg General. Yeah, they've been looking real good.
Yeah, that matchup will be good. I'm sure that won't be until the end.
Yeah, hopefully they knew better than to schedule that. And yeah, it looks like they did. What a genius move. You schedule the first 4 weeks, then leave the last few open so you can figure out what those prime matches are, figure out the
Yup.
combinations, and then really hype up those final days. Absolutely. That part of the DPC was amazing. The scheduling prowess around the matches. Very well done.
But I mean, Europe and CIS both have very good production, so they're both extremely watchable. I'm sure any of you guys who are in that time zone are enjoying the content.
Yeah, isn't that the irony? Most of the people listening to this podcast probably like, dude, oh my God, these games, and have all these specific things that have been really awesome. And we're on our own. It's hard to watch all of it. There's just not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, I usually turn into like the big ones for Europe. I'll usually have it on the second monitor during the day. But my favorite days are the days when Owen and Shiva don't work, because then I just play Dota all morning before we broadcast. It's great. I have those days scheduled, man. I get up nice and early. I'm ready to Dota.
Yeah, I'm in the mood, actually. It's been a couple days. I've had a busy week, and I haven't gotten to game that much.
It's in such a fun state. I hope you guys are playing lots of Dota right now. Don't let the DPC take away from your game time, because Dota's quality at the moment.
I screwed up my sleep schedule, and now the last 3 days I've just felt perpetually tired.
Yeah, I'm a little like that too. SA's a bit rough for that.
I need to get it back. Yeah, it's weird that the like hosting on the panels it's not more tiring than casting, but I think we've talked about it before. It's that stop and go is almost more tiresome sometimes because you kind of crash during the game when you're not talking to anybody and you're just watching.
100%.
And then the panel wakes you up again, and then every game is a slightly lower low with that crash. And by game 6, you're kind of like slumping in your chair, just okay. Somebody tell me when it's over. I think I know who's gonna win. Yeah,
I know. I try to explain this to Sarah Lynn too, my wife, and it's like I'm so tired at the end of paneling. But at the end of casting, I could cast 3 best of 3s, and I'm like wired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you hit this adrenaline peak or something.
Yeah, because you're so like in the game, and you're just like looking at everything, and you're working off the hype of the matches. And paneling is like you have to build all of the content. Like you have to create the story of what you're discussing, because now the game's over. Now the camera's on you, and all you have to work with are like numbers and recollections of things that happened. So it's mentally more taxing, even though you do it for less time.
It's almost like you spend the whole game studying, and when you're casting, you're kind of just enjoying it and talking about it in real time. So and you don't have to worry about remembering anything because you're calling it in real time. When the game's over, you're like, man, that was crazy. All right, you idiots talk about what happened 80 minutes ago because that was a long one. And that's where we have to reference all these different data points and stuff. It is a different it's a different process. I like it though. It's fun.
I like it too. It's just different.
I've been enjoying the panels a lot with you and Bowie. I think it's a good mixture.
It's a very good trio.
Yeah, it's Bowie's a lot of fun. I pinged him today and was just like, man, I am just so glad you're here because this would be really hard without somebody. Something about the stuff that he was explaining today made me really appreciate we're really getting a close look at the memes and the culture and these translations. And we're learning all these, even in between the panels when we're not on camera, but we're just talking about stuff. We're learning so much more about the nuances of the scene and these little storylines of the players and, different heroes they play and all these little weird stats. And it's just, it
would actually suck without Bowie.
Yeah, it's the perfect element. You need a specialist like that to help tie it together because we can play off that and help build and make it relatable. But without that knowledge, it's hard to get it if you aren't present.
Without Bowie, it's just general Dota again. Like he adds a different flair to it.
Yeah,
for sure. So it's really nice.
Yeah, I like it. And Gary and Theben are quite fun as well. I like listening to Gary, man. He makes me.
Oh, me too.
God damn it. I'm so jealous of his accent. I wish I could talk like that. I feel like I would just be a better broadcaster if I had that accent. I genuinely believe that. And I genuinely believe that Gary would be a worse broadcaster if he had my accent. I think if we traded objectively, it would just be this shift. Not to take anything away from anyone, but I'm so jealous of that super. Sometimes I just him and Owen too. Sometimes they say things that are so ridiculous. When I think about if I were to transcribe what you're saying in the commentary, it's bollocks. But with their inflection and their way of like hyping it up, and they talk so fast, it works. It zings. It resonates. It fucking hooks.
That's pretty funny.
There's something about that doesn't work with our accent the same way, man. I don't know. It's
your accent.
Beautiful.
You love my accent. Should have been Canadian.
I should have been born in Canada. What was I thinking?
All your problems would have been solved.
That's true. Durka Dota. I'm excited to GTA roleplay with Gary, though. We're building up to it. One of these days, we'll get an early day and really dive in.
Someday you guys will reveal that to the world, and it'll be
I think
a
it'll be
special time.
Yeah, we're gonna train off stream first, and then dive into it. But I'm excited. I'm excited to play something a little more social. I've been itching. Maybe it's just lockdown getting to me, but the appeal. Like I always used to think roleplay was a little silly. But now that I've just been sitting at home, I'm like, hey, it would be fun to pretend to be a mechanic and go troll some people on Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. I could think of some bigger waste of time. I could watch Star Trek for the 5th time. I don't need to do that. I can go interact with some people. I kind of see the appeal, It's a change of pace, I guess, is really what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I miss social stuff too. I could definitely go for a LAN, man. LANs were fun. LANs were a good time. Just hanging out. It's a totally different atmosphere when you're watching the games too.
It really is. That's the part I miss the most. The hanging while you're watching and being able to naturally develop those talking points in the green room just by virtue of we're all here and we might as well just chit chat while we're watching the game. It is nice to be remote and be able to do stuff and multitask while you're watching the game because some parts are really slow and I can fold laundry and watch the game at the same time. It's not that demanding. So that part's cool. But
all right, I'm taking this question from chat.
Okay.
Right now, who are you taking on your dream team? Is it Arteezy or Miracle? From Maldini Mara. Because that's a really random question to ask, and it made me laugh. Who are you taking?
Dream team, Arteezy or Miracle? I think Arteezy.
Oh, is that just the NA bias?
Yes, because I think it's really pretty 50-50 objectively. So if I got to tip it over and pick one, I'm going to go NA bias. Plus, I've talked to Artur a fair amount. I've never really talked to Miracle. So being able to high five Artur after the games is a big plus for me.
I was ready to dive and like take the Arteezy grenade in a sense. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm happy to do it for you.
That's actually a surprisingly hard question because you think it would just obviously be Miracle because of like all the success he's had. But lately, it feels like it's not so much the Miracle show anymore. I feel like whenever I watch a Miracle game, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. But Arteezy actually has some pretty big carry moments too.
Arteezy's hungry.
NA bias because I want to take Arteezy.
You got to go for the hunger, man.
That's true.
The lad needs it. The hunger.
Miracle before TI, Miracle after TI. Some different miracles, I'm just saying.
And it's a tricky thing to say because it almost implies like, well, he's not at 110% anymore. But I really firmly believe it is exceptionally hard to maintain that hunger level for your whole career. And I think a lot of top players will say that. Once you win a TI, what's your motivation 6 months after TI?
I'll say I'm gonna take Arteezy because of his attitude.
Okay.
Because maybe it's just because we know Arteezy better, but the way that he's developed as an adult and like the changes he's had mentally, I think he's an extremely strong player mentally, which I would want on my team.
I agree.
In and outside of skill, that's going to help a lot. Not that Miracle is unstable mentally, but I feel like there's more of a calming presence that comes from Arteezy that you might not get from Miracle because Kurok just carries that load.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. I think it's biased because I don't know Miracle very well, but I feel like
for sure.
I firsthand witnessed a lot of the Arteezy growth and evolution because the first Dota event that I went to was the first Dota event that he played in. So those timelines were like, I was there when Speed Gaming did that run. So I remember watching that and like having my eyes on it and being like, holy shit, this Arteezy guy is crazy. So I saw him at TIs after that, majors after that. There were definitely some after party moments. There were some party at Gerg's Palace moments that I definitely remember where the word zooted comes to mind. So yeah, man, I think there's some truth to that. There's definitely like sometimes lows can create great highs, you know, and I don't know. I remember that summit where a door got ripped off the wall. That might have been done by
Dude, that went down at Legend.
young Artor. PPD took the heat, but it was fundamentally the Arteezy Hulk strength that pulled the door off its hinges. So yeah, that's the NA bias right there, is we just have more data to work with. But
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the question. That was pretty funny.
That was a good segue. I like that. No, that's good. Yeah, you can argue about GOATs and Dream Team stuff like that forever.
Oh my god, dude, you're never gonna be able to decide.
Especially now when there's no cross-regional shit and you're talking about cross-regional players. It's like, ooh, man.
I'll tell you someone who would be on my list, who wouldn't have been on my list a few years ago, would be Puppy. I think Puppy has flexed his own personal power and strength in Dota to a ridiculous degree over the past 2 years.
Well, you mean in terms of consistency or in what context? Like
his own skill. Like,
oh,
he's so fucking good.
So you mean like you would expect a lot of these older players, like a lot of them don't really get better with time, but you're not talking strategically captain stuff. You mean just Puppy as his gameplay and movements as a 5 is like, Jesus Christ, this guy's high impact.
Yeah, he's insane. Kuro has never wowed me the way Puppy's wowed me over the past 2 years. Like, they're pretty comparable in a lot of their accomplishments, but like Puppy, you give this guy a position 5 puck, and I'm just like, what is this guy doing? How is he able to like cut these waves? Like, how is he making this work? Puppy, like someone was talking about that game earlier today when like he was playing Naga, and he just like, oh, I was reading a Reddit thread, but I remember that game too. He was playing support Naga, but the way the game went, Puppy just had to carry, and suddenly Puppy was the carry after like the game kept going. Like, it's interesting how there's 5 players who have never really had those kind of moments, and yet Puppy now continues to like, he's getting more farm over the past couple of years than he used to, and he's really making good use of it. So yeah, he's risen very high in my estimations of Dota players.
And I mean, when you talk about GOAT discussions, I think one of the things you have to weight heavily is consistency over time, and that's where, I mean, Puppy's like that kind of stupid layup answer, but he's surpassed a lot of the others in terms of full season, consistently individual performance and leading a team to strong performance.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't won 2 TIs, but fuck, man. That's, you know, it's impressive to be able to keep that up throughout the season when you see a lot of other players lose motivation. I think maybe that's the part that makes it so, like, this guy's a machine. He's like, robotic in a complimentary way, where he's like the untiltable. You know, that's what I used to say about Brax. That's why he's such a good offlane player. He's the untiltable. He's just dead inside in a good way. He just
in a good way.
You can't cut this guy down.
I saw in one of the interviews, I think it was Zai who was being interviewed, if I recall correctly, saying that they've never scrimmed this much as they are right now during this, which doesn't surprise me necessarily, but it's, you know, it's kind of a good sign, right, for what the league's providing. But like, think about it; they're playing 1 match a week. You know,
it makes sense.
Like, I guess they played 2 this week, to be fair. So make sure you guys tune in Saturday. They played Liquid. Oh, 2 back-to-back matches, and then they play Alliance on the 13th. Man, oh, that was Matu. Thanks, Tommy. My bad.
So, and do we have a new org? I had missed this little byline, but Tundra Esports.
Yes, Tundra and High Coast came into the EU division and have snagged up Chicken Fighters and Mud Golems.
Wow.
So Tundra is the former Mud Golems, and High Coast is former Chicken Fighters.
And are these are like not player orgs? These are legit orgs. They have other teams and whatnot.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, dude, Tundra is sponsored by TikTok, and their jerseys are made by Kappa. My gosh.
There you go.
This is serious. Their sponsors are Tic Tac and Kappa. I said Tic Tac. TikTok. Might as well be Tic Tac. I don't fucking use it. Wow. Oh, I mean, that's okay. That's promising. I mean, buddy, that real talk, that is one of the metrics that I know I've been throwing out there of like, none of these orgs are coming into Dota. Like, we're starting to see the first little bit of that ripple effect of these new orgs be like, okay, we've got consistency in Dota, things that we can hype up, plan around, moments where we know the spotlight's going to be on us. That's leverageable. Now we have a value proposition to get into Dota.
Here's what I'll say. If you get top 2 NA, you're getting signed. Cloud9 will snatch that up instantly if you're going to a major. I guarantee it. If one of these Unside teams goes,
that's a good call. Yeah, 100%.
That's going to be frame one signing. They're just waiting to see who comes out on top. It's literally the competition for Cloud9 or the 100 Thieves signing. It'll be some NA org that wants
why wouldn't you?
Cheap door into Dota.
Why wouldn't you just wait and see, okay, who's going to step up? And, oh my God, that's brilliant. Patience.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Are good things happening in Dota, Trent? Like, if there is a graph over time of Dota and sort of projections of how we think, like the pulse of Dota, was this the dip, the quiet before the storm, where now we're going to start seeing this growth come back a little bit?
I don't want to go that far.
We'll see buyout clauses in some of these NA contracts come back again, a little money back into the ecosystem.
Well, speaking of which, Ramses, I saw, had his contract ended officially yesterday, which might be why he didn't play on a team in CIS. He was actually still on contract. Maybe nobody wanted to pay.
That stuff it's dangerous.
EG are hurting for the money. I mean, remember the day they signed Lapointe? I don't know if she actually pronounced it French, but that CEO, I remember the next day
Nicole?
they had a betting sponsor.
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, okay. I see what the deal is here. Like, she's coming they want someone to clean this shit up. Start making some money.
Yeah, let's see. What's the sponsor reel for EG right now? Monster, Razer, LG, the Navy, Motorola, Secret Lab, Twitch, and then Peak 6 is their investment firm. Let's have a look-see here. Yeah, that's a pretty good I had heard through the grapevine that they were working on a deal with an alcohol partner, but I don't see that listed, so I wonder if that was either short-term or ended up not going through.
Yeah, but ever since they hired her as CEO, I feel like the cash seemed which makes sense because they're trying to actually make the turnaround. Like, how long has it been? EG is like the top NA. You want to get something out of it. So
no, they're sponsored by Absolute, dude.
Oh, nice.
It's on their website. That's badass. Absolute. Yeah, so you're totally right. I mean, this is monetized time.
Yeah, so I think that's might be why Ramsey's never really got anywhere. They wanted that cash money.
Yeah, right. It's, Amazon buys Twitch. What do they start doing? They're patient, but 2-3 years in, they start cutting some corners. They start trimming some fat. That bottom line becomes a bigger priority.
Speaking of Amazon and appeasing people, did you receive a friendly little email about, actually, I sent you the Twitter thing about how we no longer get ads. I got an ad today, by the way, on Beyond the Summit. So, excuse me, Twitch, but us partnered streamers here no longer receive ads on Twitch. That made me laugh.
Yeah. I mean,
what is the point of that?
It's a nice little...
to appease us so that we don't notice how annoying the ads are and complain about it to our streams.
Partially, it's a blindness thing. It's also something that people have been asking for a while. I know it's a thing that I've been able to leverage in the past with tournament streams where, hey, I'm running a minor right now. I need to be able to load my stream on site without getting fucking ads. Things like that sometimes can be possible for specific use cases, but it's something people have complained about a lot because it is sort of annoying when you're trying to produce stuff if you're doing multiple streams or you're moving things around. It's an annoyance, and I feel like this is a very easy give that has some emotional goodwill attached to it. So it's a bit of a layup to keep us distracted. But
consider it working in the goodwill. Thanks, Twitch.
I'll take it.
I watched so many streams. I was so close to buying Turbo. I was actually literally I canceled my Netflix on the thoughts I'm probably going to buy Turbo because the ads are just driving me nuts. Because I jump around from stream to stream constantly.
Yep.
And the pre-rolls were really getting me.
I just stopped jumping to streams as much, honestly. I hate to say that as a small-time streamer, but there were a few times it's I would click on this, but I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get this same ad for a third time, and you know what? I'm opening Netflix. See you later. This is my exit point. It gets overwhelming at a certain point. I don't know what the proper solution is.
Do you find you watch less Dota 2 streams these days? Player streams, not matches, but actual players.
Yeah, I mean, I never watched a huge amount of player streams, but I definitely don't watch any right now. I mean,
I found that I only really watch like my friends. Like I watch like Suns fan and like Cap and OD.
Exactly.
You know, Sheaves. That's. I don't really watch a lot of pro players. A lot of the current active pros don't actually stream. Insania, I watch every time for sure. I think Insania is an excellent streamer.
Yeah,
Monkeys actually. I watch Monkeys too. But,
maybe it's like the out. I feel like often. I always when I open Twitch, I always just feel like, all right, Mason is streaming and there's nothing else on, and then I don't really watch Mason.
Pretty true. It's a lot of Mason.
Yeah, I mean, and there is other stuff you can pop on, but I'm not a huge player stream guy. And I agree. I think a lot of players are focused on playing right now, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Lukey's
Lukey.
good. That's
a
quality.
legit one too.
Yeah, he's high quality for sure. I saw Excalibur was getting some pretty decent viewers.
He was for a while. I haven't noticed him on lately, but maybe I'm just not looking when he's actually like streaming.
Yeah, he might do weird hours. He's not on a team right now, is he?
No. He's just been streamer life.
Yeah, he's one of these weird players. He reminds me of Angry Testy from Heroes of New Earth. He's like one of the most well-known, like every player knows him because he plays a shitload of pubs and he's really good, but never really made it on a pro team. Like Testy made all of his money boosting people. It was like the Smash life. He would stream himself boosting his boosting services on Twitch. That was where he made his bank instead of tournaments.
Yeah, PPD's actually started streaming a lot too. You're right.
Oh yeah.
He's like on the daily.
The other day.
Yeah. Streaming all his his core gameplay now. In fact, I think I'm trying to remember what he thinks, and his in-game name was like "Core players are low skill." It made me laugh. It was very funny.
Oh, I had something. I had lost it. Fuck.
Envy started streaming again. I noticed the other night.
Oh,
He's currently
my
live
God.
right now, though. Envy's back, guys.
Seriously, what? How do I get Envy on one of my podcasts? I want to know what the fuck is going on with that guy. Why did he start streaming TFT and then just go back to Dota? Was that just like a mental holiday? Like what is?
Yeah, he literally just took a break. He just played a bunch of TFT. He wanted to grind to the top. I think he got it pretty high.
Yeah, but what?
I don't know. He was just bored of Dota. Wasn't on a team. That kind of stuff.
So, but when I say what's like what? I mean, I know you're not him, and I'm yelling at you like you are. But like, what is his goal, man? What does he want? Does he want to win a TI? If he wants to win a TI, he is not aligning his actions with his goals. Does he just want to live life and have fun? Then maybe he's aligning his actions and his goals. If is he done with Dota on a competitive level? I guess that's my question.
Nah, he'll be back.
Okay.
Fuck. Very likely.
What could I do to bribe Envy to get him to come on Zyori +1? That would be a dank Zyori +1. I want it to happen so bad, but I don't even know how to contact him.
I'd just tweet at him.
I was friends with him on Steam for like 10 minutes.
Minutes.
Oh, an hour and 10
why don't you
minutes.
pay him?
Pay him?
Yeah.
I'd pay him $100 to do a Zyori +1. He's a rare and special guest.
Hit him up. Just try that.
That's a gross overpayment, but I'd still do it. You got to invest in your content, Trent. Is that the tweet?
Worth it for Envy.
Yo, Envy, I'll give you $100 to do an hour on Zyori +1. Is that the tweet?
Send him the questions written down, or like the topics. That might help.
Yeah, but that's not how I interview. I got to feel him out.
You give him a broad list. That might make him more open to the idea.
Depending on what's on the list, yeah. What are your goals? Oh, we'll talk about that. Oh, fucking hell, man. I don't want to like. I don't know if I want to give him the chance to backseat my questions. That doesn't sound very fun. That could be the podcast, you know? If I can start recording when he sends me the feedback on the questions, I'm down. But, yeah, I don't know. I was surprised that he didn't even think about, like, a lower division team.
Yeah, I'm not sure why either, to be honest.
I mean, I can understand wanting to take a break and feel... Again, I get burnout. It just... Given all of the shit time we've had for NA Dota, this is a very peculiar time to start streaming TFT. You know, this is the best state NA Dota's been in years. So it's just very peculiar timing, I guess, is really what stands out to me. I just don't know.
True.
Well, the Western bias was real. Something's happening in China and Southeast Asia. I can give
you a little bit of
Okay.
I've been tuning in a little bit when I can.
The lizard black nomad panels.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty
the
dank.
panels are usually it's black, Lacoste, and Nomad.
Okay.
And then they trade off actually. I think all three of them cast with B-Cop. So like Nomad hosts, B-Cop casts, and then one of the three always just hops onto. So
okay, that's a nice menage a B-Cop. I like that.
Yeah. B-Cop is he's looking very comfortable. He makes he has like a little joke he does before each game about his prediction. It's pretty funny. You know, B-Cop's really getting into the swing of things.
That's good.
Yeah, he's getting the on camera going. I think he's very happy, which is good because obviously he's been on the grind for a long time.
Now, so, B-Cop, I just want to, I don't think he listens to this podcast, but buddy, you need to up your Instagram game. All right. I had to unfollow B-Cop on Twitter. It was a sad day, but I couldn't take it anymore. I still follow him on the gram, Trent. And
on the gram.
2 grams ago, it is a blurry picture of him standing next to Lacoste. And I'm just saying, get a not blurry one. It's okay to ask somebody to take a good picture. You got to market, B-Cop. Always be closing. The gram is a place to be closing. You got to present your best self, buddy. I know you're better than that picture. Sorry, that picture really triggered me because I know he's better than that. B-Cop, you deserve more than a blurry picture of yourself. You're better than that. You deserve a higher. They got some nice cameras there at PGL. Go stand in front of one of them and get some nice headshots, buddy.
Go ask Silvio if he'll take some pictures.
Other than that, you're slaying it. Well, I haven't watched any of it, but I've heard you're slaying it.
Yeah, no, he's doing really well for sure.
That's amazing experience though, dude. Do this carousel of analysts, so you're getting this
dude.
like.
Are you kidding me?
You're like
this
power farming.
Better.
Your ability to work with different analysts that have different styles and give different takes. I mean, this is the kind of experience that I think a lot of casters would legit pay for if you could do this as a training course. You know, like this is truly the dream of
actually
consistent...
getting paid to become a much better caster.
Yeah, like this is a big opportunity, man. That's really cool. And it's a big opportunity for B-Cop as well. I have been enjoying some of his hosting. I've caught some of those clips.
Nomad, you mean? Sorry.
Who did I say? B-Cop?
Yeah.
I meant to say Nomad. Yes, I'm sorry.
So anyway, China, the big surprise is that Aster are currently 3-0. So they took down LGD in 2-1. They took down eHome, and they took down Elephant. So it's not even like they played the weak teams necessarily. I mean, Vici's definitely still one of the harder ones that's left. And then the other surprise I would say is that IG also doing well. They beat Vici 2-0. They beat Elephant 2-1, and they beat eHome 2-1.
Are there any weak teams in this upper division of China? It doesn't really seem like it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Magma, LBZS for sure. I think they would be considered weak. I think coming into this, IG would not be ranked that highly. I mean, there's a reason these were the top 4 invites. These were the 4 best teams, and it was very clearly, I would argue, Vici and Elephant and LGD. I mean, LGD were right there with them too. There was like a weird love triangle happening about who was ahead and everything at the time, but definitely would have been those top 3 for me, not even close. And Elephant, they were rough at first, and then suddenly they just started winning a lot, and they looked really hot coming to this DPC. I would have guessed them to finish first, because it felt like, oh wow, this superstar team actually hit their groove, and they look really good. And I would have guessed it would have been either them or Vici, and now they're Elephant's 1-2, and Vici are 2-1. Yeah, so very surprising stuff. For me, at least. Team
Magma and then LBZS, both at the bottom, I guess, sort of as expected.
Yeah, exactly. Not really shocking. And then IG? I mean, IG coming into this were basically okay, IG made it. I would not have guessed much from them, for sure. I mean, I think they have good players, and I was watching quite a few of their games coming into the tournament. They just were a step behind those invited teams, 100%. Again, reason they were invited and IG were not, but IG have stepped up their game. Very impressive.
Any credit to the coach there? Super with the small S.
I mean, the coaches are great in this. You got listen to these coaches, guys. LGD's coach, Xiao8. eHome's coach, Yao. Vici Gaming's coach, Fenrir. Elephant's coach, XZ, who's the guy from the C deck. So he's played on CDC, a bunch of their teams. And then we got Mad, blah, blah, blah. And then it's basically Super. So still pretty huge coaches overall.
Xiao8, Yao, Fenrir, Super. Those are 4 out of the 8 coaches in your uppers. That's insane. I forgot that Fenrir was coaching. How much do you think Fenrir gets paid to coach? What do you think his salary is? I bet it's bananas.
From Vici, a lot. Yeah. Lots of fucking money. 100%. I have no idea what it would be though.
Well, I mean, not even just that it's Vici. I mean, yes, Vici can afford to pay the what he can command, but like, who's the highest paid coach right now? It might be Fenrir. It's probably Xiao 8, honestly, but
It's probably Xiao 8. Yeah.
let's be real, because he's.
I'll tell you one thing. I bet the top 4 highest paid coaches are all in China.
Yeah, okay. I won't disagree
That
with that
fair?
one.
I bet it's probably Xiao 8, Yao, Fenrir, and Super.
Probably.
I doubt Heen gets paid more than them, just because of like the culture and everything.
Right. Yeah, and Xiao 8, he's like marketable and stuff. He's more than a coach in so many ways. That's the whole different can of worms. But China really has hit that point where some of these truly iconic players have retired. We knew this was going to happen, right? You retire, you become a coach, you watch the young generation carry the trophy, and you give them the tips along the way. But I don't know. Makes me feel old seeing Fenrir coaching now. 1.4 million lifetime earnings from prize pool. Born the same year that I was, Trent.
Yeah, Sashka probably gets pretty good payment too, actually. Good call. I'll give him that. How does that make you feel, huh? Yeah, dude, when I hear these players talking about how they're like getting old and stuff, and they're all younger than me, I'm like, how are you guys younger than me when I came in looking up to these guys in a lot of ways?
Yeah.
I guess I just came into Dota so late.
But still, it's a weird dynamic.
I think they're older than me. But I turned 30 last month, guys. I'm old now.
Where's QQQ? Is he was coaching Aster. Is he not coaching anyone right now?
I don't think so. If he is, he might be one of the lower division teams, but I haven't looked.
It doesn't seem to have a team listed right now. That's kind of wild because he's.
I could see him being in charge of an org or something and just not listed. Like he could be like a.
Right.
You know, like a scout or whatever, or like part of some tree.
I mean, so just for reference, QQQ, he coached LGD for a while, and he was coaching DK and Vici, but he was born in 85, so he's 35 right now. So he is definitively one of the older Chinese players. I think a lot of his stripes go back to like Dota 1 days. Like he was an OG coach in like 2012.
I mean, Blink is listed as a coach again. I remember hearing when he retired.
Oh, yeah.
And TI winner of Wings is coaching in the lower division. He's coaching Extreme Gaming. Kind of cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
either.
DDC's actually coaching CDEC. Okay, Makasa's coaching Phoenix. God, OP's coaching RNG. Holy shit, man.
Yo, the coach game in China is next level. Which makes sense. That is completely in line with everything we know about China and their structure around Dota. But god damn, that's crazy.
That's Dota 2 Asia Championships winner.
Dude, you could do like a show match where the coaches duke it out, and that would be just as hype as the tournament. All right, so what about C? Just to close the book here as we kind of round things out. Anything happening in C? This is the region. I mean, literally, I haven't heard anything. What are we looking at?
No, nothing. It's literally just like Neon's crushing it. They're playing really well.
Okay.
The stack from the Philippines, Natsumi, Yopaj. But I think they haven't played Fnatic yet or T1. So
Pinoy Pride. Oh yeah, that's the story of Southeast Asia, the Philippines. It's like Peru is carrying South America.
Yes, same thing.
Yeah, we've got so it's 55% Filipino players in upper division of Southeast Asia.
Yeah. TNC got a win out basically because they got 2-0'd by Execration. Is no bueno. It's like a big problem. TNC are basically in danger of not making the major now because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
pretty weird. I didn't actually see that series. I just saw the scoreline and was pretty shocked.
Damn, that's almost worth going back and watching.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's like, I don't know. They're not like the best version of TNC in a lot of ways. Like, I think that they have some weaknesses. Like, I'm still surprised that Febby's their 5. Yeah, I love Febby, but he just like, he was out of the competitive scene for a while that I wouldn't have guessed that he would be on like one of the supposedly like top teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. It's still, I mean, they got 2-0'd, 2 39-minute games. They got deuced both games. And in game 2, they had PL and Invoker against the Dusa, and they still couldn't do it. That is a little bit alarming.
That actually does sound worth watching. How did they lose that game? What?
The game. I'm gonna pull up the Game 2 Dota buff. This looks nuts. So
yeah, I'm looking at it too. How did you lose? What?
it looks like it was really even, and then at 35 minutes they got team wiped.
They
maybe
literally
a
got
roach,
5-man wiped.
and then they got 5-man wiped again. Then they got 5-man wiped again. So in 5 minutes they got 5-man wiped 3 times.
Holy shit! And they just lost.
What in the fuck?
Oh, they had Darkseer Dusa? Dude, we're going to watch this after this podcast. We're just going to bring this up and like skip through the end of this game. What the hell happened?
This looks
They
insane.
literally just got wombo combo by the looks of it. They had Darkseer Elder Titan.
I wonder if ET just got some mass setup and completely porked them.
I mean, to be fair, their bat had BKB at 18 minutes, Blink at 21, and Octarine at 30.
Okay.
So, dude, he was flying.
Looks like this bat popped off. Okay, so that's what's happening in Southeast Asia, I guess. Wow.
That's actually insane. I can't believe that.
What a game to tunnel vision on there. So like you said, though, that could have huge implications for TNC, and probably will.
Yeah, so around the globe, I mean, I think whatever league you guys are watching, like based off your time zones and stuff, I think they're just all pretty solid right now. There's like nothing's going crazy like I guess like it's not super boring and completely expected. Like there's upsets everywhere across all the regions.
Yeah.
Some of them you haven't gotten to see like all the top teams play a whole lot yet. But like, you know, Secret, they dropped a game. Who they drop a game to? I remember to Tundra. Yeah. So it's like you never know, man. Don't get too complacent because a single series loss can have absolutely humongous impacts in the worst possible ways.
Yeah. No, the punishment is brutal, man.
For everyone, for the entire system. If you lose a series, like what? I don't know. Well, we're going to revisit how we feel about this league system at the end of season 1, and we see who makes it out of Europe. That I can guarantee.
We're going to do an epic podcast
I can't
on
wait to
like
read the Reddit threads,
February 26th or so.
Just you guys wait until OG, Nigma, and Alliance don't make it to the major, and you know, I'm sure there'll be some team everyone complains about. I'm sure they'll be from one of our regions, either SA or NA.
Yeah, there are definitely a couple of kinks we might need to work out, but I agree with you. I think every region has been good. Even like South America, SEA, it looks like they've stepped up. There's been upsets, and the one upside here, maybe not the one, but one of the big ones, is that teams have a lot of prep time to focus for their matches. And when there aren't that many games going on, it's like no excuse Dota. So every single series, every team is showing up with, in theory, a lot of preparation, and they should be ready to rock and roll. Like, hey, we've been planning on this for 4 days. We've got a solid game plan. And in South America, we've seen that in some of the drafts where they're snap picking is part of the strategy to put the pressure on so that they can't utilize reserve time. That's clearly a result of preparation and a clean game plan.
Yeah,
right?
We haven't talked about that much, but we've definitely seen like strategic openers where it's clear they have an entire plan happening for sure.
Yeah. So I think the quality is good. Teams are hungry, and that is one of the exciting things. We had a lull in 2020 for Dota, so I think a lot of players, casters, content creators alike are all just excited to have serious games to talk about. Because
Hugh Bristic asks, do you think that prep time has shown cabins with experience are having advantages? I would say that, unfortunately, because of our region, we don't really get to see that. But I would say what I've seen in NA, definitely true. I think that, like, Peter has been, like, busting the hell out of some people in the drafts, where it just looks, like, unfair, because he's obviously drafted so much and stuff that it's, like, the way he talks about teams, same with AUI. Because when Ali was coaching for Quidzy Crew, I'm sure that was pretty huge. But like even just listening to him, he has a way of looking at teams that we're just not on that level. Where he's like, "Oh yeah, these guys always pick these style of heroes," and I look at him like, "Oh yeah, they do." It's like you found the pattern in behind their movements that they probably don't even realize they're doing.
Right.
And you're coming into this game with a plan to just bust them up, and they're not even gonna know what hit them.
Right. He says stuff like that, and I think, oh yeah, I guess that is a quote type of hero. Huh. Never really thought about that group of heroes in that category before.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're on another level.
I see why you won TI. I understand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, casting with him was awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot I casted Owie too. So I've casted Owie,
nice.
Gunner, and PPD so far in NA, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I would agree with that sentiment. I think more experience probably does favor captains. You have, people that can really make use of that time. Probably teams that have like a coach and an analyst and some of those extra resources. You have more time to utilize all of it. There are definitely parts of Dota where, hey, really cool training facility you've got there. We're playing qualifiers 12 hours a day, so it doesn't really matter what you have. This just is a brutal grind that sort of sucks. So now if you actually have, like EG, for example, if they're all playing in that big facility, Team Liquid, another example, I think all those teams, you're realizing a greater benefit from those big resources for sure. But
in non-Dota related news, if I can jump away, assuming we're finished there. Today is an excellent day, guys, on Steam. If you guys like playing a bunch of random ass games like me, the Steam Game Festival is happening all this week. There are so many cool demos you can play. I'm just saying.
Really?
So
okay.
yeah,
risk free. You get to download and play. And
there's tons of them. There's just all kinds of sweet indie games. You can you'll see a big banner that says the Steam Game Festival, and you can click on it, and you can find a little sorting narrow by section, so you can fully categorize like what you want to look at. So for example, I'm on it right now, but I could be like, I'd like a roguelike that has a subgenre of dungeon crawler that is local co-op. And it will show me any of the games that fit that category. Oh, Soul Shifter, apparently, is a game. And there's a demo for it right now. So you can try it out. I already downloaded like 7 or 8 demos that I was messing around with today and found some sweet games that come out in a couple months. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Okay. In investing crypto news, the whole world has gone crazy. The GameStop madness has died down. The AMC madness, I guess, is still sort of happening, and now it's pivoted to Dogecoin. I saw Elon pumping up the Dogecoin just this morning, so we'll see how far that thing gets. But my God, I think GameStop was down to like $40 or $50 today, something like that. So
it went way down.
We have effectively pumped it up. And we have dumped it as well.
The squeeze is coming. Hold.
The old,
might as well at this point.
The old pumper and dumper. Yeah, if you bought at 300, man, sorry, I don't think you're ever going to see that number again. But good on you. Very, very interesting stuff. If you don't know what we're talking about, fucking Google it, man. The memes are all over the place. Welcome to the reality of the internet.
That was the first time I've ever witnessed the whole "your grandmother's buying the stock, don't."
Yeah,
because some people in my life who are so disconnected from tech or stocks or anything like that were buying GameStop, and I was like, "Oh God, that's not good."
This is when, I mean, that's when the pump and dump really works. When it hits that viral point of like it spreads to the normies that go, "Whoa, there's buzz around this thing. Maybe I should get in," and they don't understand why at all.
Yes, like literally they had no idea.
It has
like, I saw it's going up and it's going to go higher.
Yeah, it has the illusion of a gaming unicorn, but in this case, there's no metrics behind it. GameStop is in a terrible spot right now thanks to COVID and online sales and digital goods and all this kind of stuff. The whole trade your game in business model is not so contemporary. So yeah, it was the perfect stock for this to happen to because it's such an awful company in terms of like the stock prospects, but they were able to hype it up through all these Reddit memes and the YouTubes and
and the Elons.
Dude, it was impressive to witness, man. Impressive to witness. Did you buy anything? Did you get in on that? No. Okay. I regret not putting $50 in. I should have ridden the roller coaster. That part.
I've actually been reading that guy's updates for like literally months.
Yeah,
because I hop on Wall Street Bets from time to time because I always browse RL and some guy always shows some giant lossy head. So I'll browse the subreddit a little bit. And I was spotting it the week before. I saw it when it was like $15, but like I didn't know it was gonna go $300. Obviously, I can't really live in regret of that.
I mean, I saw it and thought, this is stupid. I definitely thought it's probably going to go somewhere. I could make a little bit of money on this, but I'm not going to risk it, and I'm not going to embrace the stupidity that is this, like, it's kind of fraudy. I don't know if it will technically get classified as fraud, but we crowdsourced a fraud. Like it was
hell yeah.
It was like innovative in that way where it's the first time this has happened in this like kind of decentralized. It was like a social media viral meme that pump and dumped this stock. It wasn't just like a classic 90s pump and dump where it's this firm making up fake companies and then just spam calling people. But I didn't want to touch it. There was a little part of it that felt a little icky, so I just wanted to watch from afar on this one. Now, did you sell your Dogecoins though, Trent?
I do not own any crypto. Sorry.
None? No? You've
No.
never owned any crypto?
Nope.
Why not?
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to diversify a little bit. I mean, I definitely
I have investments. I have real investments.
Well, me too, but there came a point where it's like, okay, Bitcoin, like I kept getting surprised by it. Then by the time it was in the thousands, whatever, 3, 4, 5, and somewhere around there was when I really got to this, like, okay, this shit's not just gonna like disappear. We've like passed this tipping point of this is just some kiddie internet shit, you know? And that's, I mean, 10% of your portfolio, 5% might be a worthy little sousson on top of those safe stocks you got there. Although I can't flame you for having stocks because I'll tell you what, man, my stocks are slaying it. So
yeah, stocks are dope.
The stock market's been doing just fine.
Sure,
so
the stocks do really well in a pandemic.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Every time somebody brags about their crypto gains, they're like, "Oh, my stock gains aren't so bad either." But you know, that's I don't know. Do you think Dogecoin is going over $1? Maybe that's a good prediction to end this one with. No way. At
not
least
for another like 5
not
years.
anytime soon. Yeah.
Not until the next time it gets hyped up by social media, unless literally Elon tweets something. If Elon tweets something, I could see it.
Even
If
then,
he tweets more stuff and goes
yeah.
harder in on it. If he announces that you can use Dogecoin to buy a decal that goes on your Tesla, then yes.
Okay, that's fair. You're right. There are some threads where if somebody does some crazy shit with that, it could compound the viral nature. But without a crazy catalyst like that, I completely agree with you. What are we at, like 30 cents right now or something for Doge? Which is still bananas because it used to be worth like 1,000th of a penny or something. Like literal meme values of I have 100,000 of these things and they're worth nothing. I know a few people that had that and are like, wow, I cannot believe this turned into something. That's like a luck investment right there, you know?
100%.
You're funny money. All right, gang. Well, another podcast done. Enjoy the DPC. We're only halfway through, so a lot of Dota still to go. We'll get this one up on Moonduck. You know where to find it. I'm going to bug Envy for that Zyori +1. Love podcasting. We're doing the South American Dota podcast, the Sad PP over on Zyori TV. Me and Bowie. Great interview with Costa Bile last week. This week we've got somebody coming on. It's not Leeless. I think it's Minnie. I think Minnie's coming on this week to do a podcast with us. So,
nice.
Yeah, check that out. The Zyori YouTube. Some awesome South American Dota content there. I think that's it. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.